The helix is a basic three-dimensional geometric form. A helix, sometimes also called a coil, is a curve for which the tangent makes a constant angle with a fixed line. The shortest path between 2 points on a cylinder is a fractional turn of a helix, as can be seen by cutting the cylinder along one of its sides, flattening it out, and noting that a straight line connecting the points becomes helical upon rewrapping. A helix combines the geometric forms of a straight line, a circle, and a cylinder. In addition, a helix has a handedness. It can be either left or right-handed. Some of the symbols are used to describe a helix. D is diameter of helix. C is circumference of helix, which is equal to pi into D. S is spacing between turns. Alpha is pitch angle, which is given by alpha is equal to S divided by pi into D. L, length of one turn. N is equal to number of turns. A, axial length, which is equal to N into S. D is diameter of helix conductor. The diameter D and circumference C refer to the imaginary cylinder whose surface passes through the center line of the helix conductor. A subscript lambda signifies that the dimension is measured in free space wavelength. Suppose that we have one turn helix with a turn length of 1 lambda, or we can write L lambda is equal to 1. When alpha equal to 0, a helix is a loop of 1 lambda circumference or of diameter equal to 1 lambda divided by pi. As the pitch angle alpha increases, the circumference decreases and the dimensions of the helix move along the L is equal to 1 lambda curve until when alpha is equal to 90 degree is a straight conductor 1 lambda long. As I told before, in this subscript lambda signifies that the dimension is measured in free space wavelength. Practical design consideration of helical antenna. The important parameters are beam width, gain, impedance, axial ratio. For a given number of turns, the behavior of the beam width, gain, impedance and axial ratio determines the useful bandwidth. The nominal center frequency of this bandwidth corresponds to a helix circumference of about 1 lambda. The parameters are also functions of the ground plane size and shape, the helical conductor diameter, the helix support structure and the feed arrangement. A two-turn flush mounted design for aircraft applications is shown in figure C. The two turns are required to obtain satisfactory pattern and impedance characteristics, but that no significant improvement is obtained with a deeper cavity and a larger number of turns, since the size of the aperture opening remains the same. The deep conical arrangement of figure D is effective in reducing the side and back lobe radiation. Conductor size is not critical and may range from 0.005 lambda or less to 0.5 lambda or more. The helix may be fed axially, peripherally or from any convenient location on the ground plane launching structure, with the inner conductor of the coaxial line connected to the helix and the outer conductor bonded to the ground plane. With axial feed, the terminal impedance is given within 20%, then R is equal to 140 into circumference in wavelength, while with peripheral gives its value within 10%. R is equal to 150 divided by root of circumference in wavelength. Above relations have the restriction that circumference is between 0.8 and 1.2, alpha is between 12 degree and 14 degree, and number of turns greater than or equal to 4. As the helix tubing is brought close to the ground plane, it is gradually flattened until it is completely flat at the termination, where it is spaced from the ground plane by a dielectric sheet. The appropriate height h is given by width divided by 377 divided by root of relative permittivity of dielectric sheet into impedance minus 2. Half bow beam width is equal to 52 divided by circumference in wavelength into n into s in wavelength, which is in degree. Bandwidth of first null is equal to 115 divided by circumference root n into s lambda. Directivity is equal to 15 square of circumference n into s lambda. The Agee antenna is a popular form of antenna where directivity and gain are required. Although the Agee has become particularly popular for television reception, it is also used in many other applications, both domestic and commercial. The gain and directivity of the Agee antenna enable improved reception by enabling better levels of signal to noise ratio to be achieved, and by reducing interference levels by only picking up signals from a given direction. For transmitting, much better use of the available power is made because it is possible to focus the transmitted power on areas where it is needed. Similarly, levels of general interference can be reduced to other users because the signal is not transmitted to areas where it is not needed. Aguda antennas consist of a single driven element connected to a radio transmitter and or receiver through a transmission line, and additional parasitic elements with no electrical connection, usually including one so-called reflector and any number of directors. Reflector elements are slightly longer than the driven dipole and placed behind the driven element, opposite the direction of intended transmission. Directors, on the other hand, are a little shorter and placed in front of the driven element in the intended direction. These parasitic elements are typically of turned short-circuited dipole elements, that is, instead of a break at the feed point, a solid rod is used. They receive and re-radiate the radio waves from the driven element, but in different phase determined by their exact lengths. Their effect is to modify the driven element's radiation pattern. The waves from the multiple elements superpose and interfere to enhance radiation in a single direction, increasing the antenna's gain in that direction. A typical modern version 6-element Aguda antenna is shown in figure. It consists of a driven element fed by a 300 ohm 2-wire transmission line, a reflector and 4 directors. Dimensions are indicated on the figure. The antenna provides a gain of about 10 decibel with a bandwidth at half power of 10%. By adjusting lengths and spacings appropriately, the dimensions can be optimized, producing an increase in gain of another decibel. However, the dimensions are critical. The parabola general properties. Suppose that we have a point source and that we wish to produce a plane wave front over a large aperture by means of a sheet reflector. Referring to a figure A, it is then required that the distance from the source to the plane wave front via path 1 and 2 be equal to L is equal to R into 1 plus cos theta, and R is equal to 2L divided by 1 plus cos theta. This is the equation for the required surface contour. It is the equation of a parabola with a focus at F. Referring to the figure B, the parabolic curve may be defined as follows. The distance from any point P on a parabolic curve to a fixed point F, called the focus, is equal to the perpendicular distance to a fixed line called the directrix. Figure B shows that PF equal to PQ. Referring now figure C, let AA dash be a line normal to the axis at an arbitrary distance QS from the directrix. Since PS is equal to QS minus PQ and PF equal to PQ, it follows that the distance from the focus to S is PF plus PS is equal to PF plus QS minus PQ, which is equal to QS. Thus, a property of a parabolic reflector is that all waves from an isotropic source at the focus that are reflected from the parabola arrive at line AA dash with equal phase. The image of the focus is the directrix and the reflected field along the line AA dash appears as though it originated at the directrix as a plane wave. The plane BB dash at which a reflector is cut off is called the aperture plane. Log periodic antenna. The log periodic dipole array design is shown in figure. The dipole length increase along the antenna so that the included angle alpha is a constant and length L and spacing S of adjacent elements are scaled so that Ln plus 1 divided by Ln is equal to Sn plus 1 divided by Sn, which is equal to K, where K is a constant. The elements in the above active regions or elements in the active region are about lambda by 2 long. Elements 9, 10, 11 are in the neighborhood of 1 lambda long and carry only small currents. The elements at the left are less than lambda by 2 long and present a large capacitive reactance to the line. Hence, currents in these elements are small and radiation is small. At a wavelength lambda, radiation occurs from the middle portion where the dipole elements are lambda by 2 long. When the wavelength is increased, the radiation zone moves to the right, and when the wavelength is decreased, it moves to the left, with maximum radiation toward the apex or feed point of the array. From the geometry of figure, for a section of the array, we have tan alpha is equal to Ln plus 1 minus Ln divided by 2 whole divided by S. Tan alpha is equal to 1 minus 1 by K Ln plus 1 divided by 2 whole divided by S. Considering Ln plus 1 is equal to lambda by 2 when it's in the active region, tan alpha is equal to 1 minus 1 divided by K divided by 4S in wavelength, where alpha is apex angle, K is scale factor, S in wavelength, spacing in wavelengths. The length L for any element n plus 1 is k to the power 1 greater than for element 1, then which is equal to Ln plus 1 divided by L1, which is equal to k to the power n, which is equal to F, which is a frequency ratio. And half power beam width is less than or equal to 41,000 divided by D into 60 degree.